Hello, and welcome to a pointless video part 2. Just another pointless video, but it's on Minecraft. In a pointless video, we're gonna talk about things. Today we're talking about horror. Yep, that's what we're talking about. I totally spelled it right, don't even ask. So you're probably asking, why are we talking about horrors in a pointless video? Well, yeah, but like, if it's a pointless video, we should talk about something, kind of like, I don't know, yeah. But mainly, why do we like horror? Well, it's pretty simple to explain. Arrow. It's because of what we're going to put in, blue. Let's do blue. Adrenaline. Which we'll just put as that. Now, I don't know anything about science, but apparently adrenaline happens when you get, like, jump scared and stuff. And also, it's what allows people to, save their kids and stuff if they're, like, under a car. It basically improves your strength and everything, and I know that it comes from when you're scared. Adrenaline is something that happens. So these two are connected because adrenaline activates your fight or flight response, and horror, aka what would scare you, activates your adrenaline, which activates your fight or flight response. Now, people who like horror, which is a lot of people, are basically adrenaline junkies. They like adrenaline. When you bring out blue, like adrenaline. So, horror fans, let's make sure we put horror fans here. Horror fans. They like adrenaline. So they watch horror to get the adrenaline that comes. So they watch horror to get the adrenaline that comes from being scared. Because they like adrenaline. Now, people who don't like horror, aka people who don't like horror, so let's draw the line from right here to here, I guess. What we call pussies, I'm kidding, but we're gonna call them scared easily. The people who don't like horror are either less scared easily, but we're just going to put scared easily for simplicity, or they just don't like the adrenaline they don't like adrenaline, obviously, as we know, don't like adrenaline. So, why is horror one of the biggest things? Well, because a lot of people like adrenaline as opposed to not liking adrenaline. So there are more of these than there are of these. Even though horror fans are also scared easily, because that's how they get the adrenaline. And that is all about horror. But the thing is that what really justifies as scary? Because if you think about it, let's look at this real quick. So horror diverts down two paths, which I can't draw one here because I don't like adrenaline. We have the real horror, which is things like murderers and not comically overpowered monsters. Then we have comic horror. This is stuff like, I don't know, stuff that can't possibly happen, or monsters with like comical powers such as the Mask and stuff. And then real horror divides down two paths. We have monsters and psychological psychological. In comic horror, we divide down two paths. Monsters and so we have monsters and voodoo zombies. Now you're probably asking, what is a voodoo zombie? So a voodoo zombie, unlike the zombies from The Walking Dead, are the ones that can have feelings and stuff. The ones that are like, you're still in there, and they are. So now let's see what scares us. So what doesn't scare us are the monsters and the stuff from comic horror. Stuff from real horror is usually what scares us. The funny thing is, think about this. The monsters from comic horror are insanely overpowered. And so are the voodoo zombies. Because the voodoo zombies are smarter than humans, sometimes even. So comic horror is actually more dangerous to us than real horror. Though, yes, the monsters in that can still kill us, and psychological horror can really mess with you. This stuff is the things in here are a lot less powerful. The only thing that could really happen to us is a psychological horror with I don't know, trying to think of one, like Michael Myers. Yeah, Michael. Or, since it's not just him, how about we say unalivers, because I don't want to get age restricted by YouTube. Unalivers, also known as killers. So, yeah, psychological has unalivers. Well, monsters in this have, like, stuff such as, I don't know, let me think. Stuff like, ghosts. Though I'm not going to debate of their existence, it's a lot less likely for this to happen than this. And even though these are unlikely, ghosts in these aren't nearly as powerful as the things in comic horror. So why are we actually scared of this instead of this? That's the question we need to ask. Well, I think it's because comic horror is for kids. And therefore is less graphic. Well, real horror is, let me draw a line that's pretty long, not for kids or for adults, which will take up less space, so we're going to write that instead. For adults, and therefore more graphic. which, if you don't know, graphic scares us. Such things as blood scares humans, and things such as, like, death, unaliving, scares humans. So, therefore, that's why we find real horror more scary. And comic horror less scary. At least in my theory. Now, I could all be wrong about this because I do not pay attention in science class. And even if I did, we aren't studying this because I actually do pay attention. We're studying rocks instead. And I don't know if I really could do research on Google because I feel like I'd forget all of it. But yeah, this is the full thing of horror. So yeah. This was a pointless video, part 2.